Hi, and welcome to Happy Fisherman Adventures, episode 19.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.
This episode is all about Portland and its first week in January. This amazing place at this time of the year has a lot to offer, from tuna to kingfish, lots of different sharks, trevally, King George whiting, slimy mackerel, you name it.
It is an amazing place, and best part is that most of the action happens at the North Shore, so you don't really need to travel a long distance at all.
Yeah, we were here for a few days and lots of things happened, so we managed to get some great video footage. So let's watch the first video.
Enjoy!
It is late afternoon, 6th of January 2022, and we just arrived to Portland for a new fishing adventure. We end up staying at Henty Bay Holiday Park as no others would accept pets. As we got there, the sky split in two, the good side and the bad side. Before you know, we had some serious rain bucketing down, and the hail stopped me getting out of my car. That lasted for about 10 minutes, and that was it. Well, in meantime, me and Ovi were changing line on a few roads while Mima was attaching leaders doing the FG knot. The very next morning, we were up early so we can be at the ramp at daylight. Water was great, but a bit foggy around. We launched quickly and we were on the way. Our destination was North Shore, 15-meter depth, in front of Minerva Reef. As we got there, we seen some activities on the sounder and started trolling for tuna. Not much luck, so I decided to set few rods for kingfish. My kingfish setup is my own custom-made barrel sinker that takes the role of downrigger. And then I would have about 1.5 meters of leader with a single or double hook, doesn't matter. I would cut a piece of squid in a V shape and then do few cuts at the bottom just for a bit of presentation. I just have to add that when we troll for kingfish, we actually troll very slow. Just put the boat in a gear and let it go. So 3-4 km an hour, that's plenty. So the difference is basically when we troll for tuna, we would do 11-12 kilometers an hour. Here we go. We start trolling very slow, hoping that fish on the sounder is kingfish. Normally for tuna in this area, we would do about 11 kilometers an hour. But when we troll for kingfish, we would do only like 4 kilometers an hour. As the sun started to rise, we had the fish on. This battle was Mima's, as she never landed the kingfish or tuna before. few minutes in and Mima had her first tuna right at the boat. Problem was, I did not have my hookem net ready as everything happened so quick. Well, it did not take long before I had this tuna in the boat. This tuna took the squid strip that actually was meant for kingfish. But hey, who cares? We're not fussy. Well, that is the story of Mima's first ever tuna. And the best thing about it, we got it on the video. It was time for a few pics and back trolling. More fish were showing on the sounder, but we did not have another hit. We gave it a go for another hour and then we were on the way out. Quickly, I filleted the fish, we went back to our accommodation and then it was Chiquita's time to play.
Well, quite few people made the statement that tuna is not that good eating. I guarantee that this recipe is going to change your mind.
Today we're going to show you how we do our tuna steaks. So first thing first, make sure you treat your tuna when you catch it. Bleed it properly, do the right thing first. And then basically when we cut the steaks, we cut them in 1 inch thickness. So that's our steak. We dry it. Obviously I use papers to dry the meat. And then obviously we're gonna use salt, pepper, we're gonna use soy sauce, a special ingredients which is the sesame seeds and some olive oil. So let's have a look. First put some salt and pepper on your steaks. Then we're gonna add some soy sauce, but just make sure you don't put too much, just a little bit. Now sprinkle some sesame seeds. And then turn it around and do the exact same thing on the other side. Once it's done, add some extra virgin olive oil on it, and that's all the preparation done. Make sure you preheat the barbecue and put some olive oil on the plate side. Add your tuna steaks and close the cover. Cook only for 1 minute. Then turn it around, close the cover and cook for another minute. That is it. If you cut a piece, it should still be a little pink in the middle. Well, that's a perfectly cooked tuna steak. We would normally serve that with some green salad, but if you want a bit of extra kick, you can mix some wasabi and soy sauce in a bowl, but that is just a personal preference. Late afternoon, we decided, let's go in front of Lee Breakwater, just in shallows there, and try for some King George whiting. So, have a look what happened. This time, we were on the mission to catch some King George whiting. First thing first, here most of the King George whiting we get them on pilchard. So I filleted the pilchard and made few slices out of it. Not long before we had a hookup. This time we got some small pinkies. The very next fish we got, it was silver trevally. Since trevally were around, I started throwing some burley pellets just to keep them in the area. This area is mixed of grass, rocks and some sand patches. It does hold a lot of parrotfish, and sometimes King George whiting doesn't even have a chance to get to your bite. This time, Ovi gets a bigger fish. Well, it was a barracuda that actually took a King George whiting rig. Normally they feed in a mid or top column of the water, but this one took the bite of the bottom. Then I end up with a double hookup. Both slimy mackerel. After I checked my underwater camera at home, I seen lots and lots of trevallies around, and they were just a meter above the bottom. We did end up getting lots of them, and I can tell you they're real fun on the light gear. Then finally, after about an hour, Ovi managed the King George whiting. This was promising. Not long after, on a Paternoster rig, I have a double again. This time Silver Trevally and King George whiting. The very next cast, I managed one more, then a salmon, and then another King George whiting, and then some trevallies and pinkies. All in all, it was a great little session. Alright, in the next video you're gonna see we actually were ready to go home because Bureau of Meteorology said it's gonna be windy and the swell's gonna go up, so we actually packed up the boat, packed up the stuff, and we were on our way home. On the way down, 7 o'clock in the morning, we passed the water, we looked at it, it was flat. So, okay, what are we gonna do? Let's give it another shot. So we did, and what happened?
In literally 20 minutes, we backed out, packed up again, and left to go home. For this day, the Bureau of Meteorology showed that the weather is not going to be good, so the night before we packed up to go home. In the morning, we looked at the ocean and decided to give tuna another go. Again, our destination was the North Shore. Not even 5 minutes in, and we were on our first fish. This one took the Helco deep diver. In no time, we landed the first tuna for the day. We didn't have our cameras on Railblazer arms set up, so Tibi quickly put them on. Then he used the spike that comes in Hookem tuna pack to quickly put the fish asleep. One quick tip: if your deep divers have triples on them, make sure you use pliers to remove them. In no time we had the rod back in action and it was time to quickly bleed the tuna. It's very important to treat your tuna properly as it will make it great eating later. It was time for a few picks. And what do you know? Fish on. This time it was on a Samaki pilchard color deep diver. This fish took Tibi a little bit around the boat, but we landed it with ease. Again, quickly use the spike, bleed the fish, wash it, then put it in the esky full of ice. As Tibi was washing the fish, 2 rods started to scream. We had a double. It was a bit of a mess on the boat, since we were planning to go home and we put everything in the boat. This deep diver managed to tangle a bit in the net, so Tibi grabbed the gaff, and not long after, we had the number 4 on the boat. All 4 fish in about 20 minutes, so it was time to pack up and go out. We quickly treated the tuna, put it on ice, removed the cameras, and we were on our way out. As you see, Tibi put the boat back on the trailer pretty quick, but there was a problem. Chiquita wouldn't drive him out. We had the tuna on ice in the big chiller bag, so when we got home it was perfectly fresh. Tibi started filleting it, and in no time we had sashimi for lunch. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week.
Cheers.
I hope, I dream, I wish to catch a big fish, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman, and I do it when I can. I'm a happy fisherman.